The Minnesota Legislature shelled out roughly $2 million this year for lawmakers' daily expenses, even though many of them were working from home.
Fox 9 has done months of research into who stayed away while collecting the biggest checks. The rules say lawmakers are entitled to the money. Political reporter Theo Keith is asking if the rules need to change.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you, Senator Jensen.
In 2020, then-Senator, now Republican candidate for governor Scott Jensen zoomed into a committee meeting from the golf course.
It's been passed.
I just wanted to ask Senator Jensen, how's he hitting them out there?
Senator Hayden?
It was a sign of the new era at the Minnesota Capitol. For the past 20 months, the House and Senate let members work from home or wherever they wanted. This year, taxpayers paid $2 million called per diem to cover daily expenses for lawmakers, even those who infrequently showed up at the Capitol. No receipts required because Minnesota has a separate reimbursement for mileage, lodging, internet, and phone. So Hamline University's David Schultz calls per diem a backdoor bonus.
If you are at home in your den wearing your fuzzy slippers, you're not incurring those additional expenses. You are already being paid to do your job.
Lawmakers get a $47,000 salary. On top of that, senators can collect $86 a day, 7 days a week during session, a $13,000 boost this year. House members can put in for $66 a day, adding $10,000 to their bottom lines. This year, more than half the Senate collected the maximum per diem for the regular session. In the House, 1 in 3 took the max. Fox 9 reviewed every day to see who among these per diem collectors was actually in the Capitol. That was easy in the Senate, where the daily journals list senators who voted remotely. In the House, not so much. So we reviewed more than 60 roll calls, the only time House members were required to announce where they were.
Lucero,
Mounds View, present in terrible traffic jam.
If a lawmaker said he or she was in St. Paul, we counted them as in person. If they announced a different location, we counted them as remote. There were 10 House members who said they were in St. Paul for fewer than 10 roll call votes, yet took the maximum per diem.
Pulowski,
Winona, present.
Pulowski, Winona, present.
Democrat Gene Pulowski said he was in his hometown of Winona for all but 2 roll calls. Pulowski still collected the full per diem, nearly $10,000, for his daily expenses. What were they? The lawmaker did not respond to an interview request through a spokesman.
Robbins, St. Paul, present.
Only one lawmaker was in the House chamber for roll call every day of the regular session. Republican Kristen Robbins of Maple Grove was also one of 5 lawmakers not to collect any per diem this year. Robbins says she made the decision when the pandemic forced businesses to close.
So I felt just personally that, that was a way I could show my constituents I understand what they're going through, and I'm sharing in a little bit of what that looks like.
During the pandemic, the House restricted the number of people who could be in the chamber. Lawmakers changed House rules to let members vote, even debate, virtually. Speaker Melissa Hortman, who was in the chamber almost every day, said lawmakers who stayed away were still working hard.
We were all working, we were just working differently. So I think it's entirely appropriate that people got paid regardless of what location they were working from during COVID-19.
The Senate allowed remote voting, but not debate. If senators wanted to speak their mind, they had to come to the Capitol. Not surprisingly, in-person attendance was higher. One senator collected the maximum per diem while voting remotely on all but one day, Democrat Jerry Newton of Coon Rapids. Newton says he and his wife were both undergoing chemotherapy during the session, and he didn't want to be in a room or elevator with legislators or staff who refused to be vaccinated. As for why he took the maximum per diem, Newton said his not being at the Capitol didn't cause him to miss any meetings. Bipartisanship might be rare, but per diem brings Democrats and Republicans together. Senate Majority Leader Jeremy Miller, who had one of the Senate's highest attendance rates, called it part of the compensation package.
The per diem, there's a lot more that goes into it other than if someone showed up or not.
Though he acknowledged sitting home and collecting per diem might raise questions.
I would say that's a valid argument and a valid concern.
While lawmakers like their per diems, the independent board that sets their base salary does not. Earlier this year, the Legislative Salary Council blasted per diems as a non-transparent form of extra salary. It called on the House and Senate to get rid of them and reimburse only for actual expenses. 44 states have per diems, though unlike Minnesota, many require lawmakers to show actual expenses, like an overnight stay or live a certain distance from the Capitol. No changes to per diem are likely without a major overhaul to lawmakers' work and pay structure. Hortman, the House Speaker, is suggesting such a change. She says Minnesota needs to consider a full-time legislature, like 10 other states. In recent years, the number of special session days has increased, which Hortman says has put a strain on lawmakers who are supposed to be part-time.
I think members are feeling the strain, the financial strain of trying to juggle supporting a family on a salary that's reflecting a part-year workload that really demands our time more than part of the year.
Voters would have to change the state constitution to move to a full-time legislature. Before that, the House and Senate would need to sign off. And Miller, the Senate Majority Leader, says despite the complexities of the state budget, he doesn't want to meet more often.
I'm adamantly opposed to a full-time legislature. In fact, I think the legislature should meet even less.
The disagreement means any changes to lawmakers' pay structure is unlikely. So they will keep collecting their per diem, whether or not they're actually at the Capitol. Theo Keith, Fox 9.